Modern humans live in a world that is vastly different from that of our ancestors. This is because we've reversed the way our lives unfold. In the past, hunter-gatherers lived in an environment marked by local instability but global stability. Their daily lives were unpredictable, but the broader world remained relatively unchanged over generations. Today, the situation has flipped. We experience local stability but global instability. Our daily routines are highly predictable. We can order products online and know exactly when they will arrive, or visit a Starbucks anywhere and expect the same taste. Yet, the world as a whole was changing at an unprecedented rate. The consequence is that when things go wrong, the ripple effects are far more immediate and severe. We've built a world where small disruptions can trigger massive consequences. Democracies are crumbling, rivers are drying up, and uncertainty is growing. Complex systems theory. When trying to understand why things happen in social systems, traditional thinking relied on linear dynamics, where small causes produce small effects and large causes produce large effects. However, the real world operates through nonlinear dynamics, meaning that even tiny changes can lead to enormous consequences. Complex systems theory embraces this idea and attempts to model a world where minor fluctuations can radically alter the future. Historically, we've made incorrect assumptions about social change. One of these assumptions is that every event has a single clear cause. For instance, consider the atomic bomb being dropped on Japan. If just one factor had been different, such as the outcome of the Battle of Midway, Einstein's birth, or the formation of uranium deposits, the event may not have happened as it did. But our models struggle to process an infinite number of causes leading to a single outcome. Another flawed assumption is that understanding individual components of the system means understanding the entire system. This is incorrect because complex systems are adaptive, unlike merely complicated systems. A Swiss watch, for example, has many intricate parts, but if one piece fails, the watch simply stops working. In contrast, human traffic behaves differently. When one driver brakes suddenly, others adapt, altering the entire system's behavior. This interconnected adaptability means we must study interactions, not just components. The third key misconception is believing that past patterns of cause and effect will always apply in the future. Scottish philosopher David Hume recognized this issue centuries ago, but it has become even more relevant today. The world is changing so rapidly that past trends are becoming unreliable predictors. For example, experts once described Middle Eastern regimes as extremely stable, only for the Arab Spring to upend them within months. This doesn't mean the theory was wrong at the time. Rather, the world changed in ways it hadn't before. Many of our modern models, including AI-driven ones, assume past data can predict future trends. But if the underlying world has shifted, these models won't just be inaccurate. They could be dangerous. The sandpile model and systemic risk. Complex systems exist between order and chaos. One useful analogy is the sandpile model, a concept from physics known as self-organized criticality. Imagine adding grains of sand to a pile. At first, the pile grows steadily, but eventually, it reaches a point where adding just one more grain can cause a sudden collapse. This illustrates how small triggers can lead to catastrophic change. Modern society operates at the edge of chaos, making us more vulnerable to sudden disruptions. One reason for this is what's known as a basin of attraction. Consider highway traffic. While individual driving behaviors vary, the system tends to settle into a predictable pattern around the speed limit. However, when systems like this are pushed to their limits, small disturbances, like one driver braking, can trigger large-scale consequences. Our world has been engineered for efficiency and optimization, but this has made it fragile. The higher we build our sandpile of complexity, the more inevitable an eventual collapse becomes. Black swan events and critical slowing down. Nassim Nicholas Taleb coined the term black swan to describe rare, highly consequential events that seem unpredictable. However, complex systems research suggests that such events often have warning signs. a concept known as critical slowing down. When a system is approaching a tipping point, its fluctuations become more erratic, taking longer to return to equilibrium. This provides an early warning system for potential collapses. A common mistake in analyzing social disasters is to assume they are one-off anomalies, rather than recognizing that the system was already primed for failure. We tend to say, "That was just a black swan event," rather than acknowledging that an unstable system made disaster inevitable. The lesson is clear. We should prioritize resilience over efficiency. If we build a smaller, more stable sandpile, we can better withstand unexpected shocks. The mirage of regularity. In our daily lives, we experience what can be called the mirage of regularity. Because so much around us follows predictable patterns, we begin to believe the world itself is stable and controllable. But this is an illusion. The 21st century has repeatedly proven that our forecasts are unreliable. Just consider how economic projections for 2020, made in 2019, failed to anticipate the global upheaval that was about to unfold. Some uncertainties are so profound that we cannot even conceive of them before they happen. This is known as radical uncertainty. Since we cannot predict the future with accuracy, we must be selective about which aspects of uncertainty we attempt to navigate. By acknowledging our limitations and focusing on what we can control, we can make better decisions and reduce the risk of being blindsided by unexpected crises. Final thoughts. Understanding complex systems can help us prepare for an unpredictable world. The key takeaway is that we live in a time of global instability, where small events can trigger enormous consequences. Rather than trying to predict every detail of the future, we should build systems that are more adaptable and resilient. In doing so, we can mitigate the risks of sudden collapse and better navigate the uncertainties of modern life. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it and want to continue learning more about topics like this, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss the next videos. And don't forget to leave me a comment with your opinions or questions. I'd love to know what you think and create a stimulating discussion together. See you soon.